Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got my line mate Matt with me. And today we're going to go over the Blackhawks' last couple games. Got a couple wins and a loss in here, and some surprises. Matt, let's start off with tonight's game. Bedard does the Michigan. Well, is that even the Michigan, or should we call that the Bedsy? Because he got the puck, pretty much flipped it onto his stick, and put it right into the net. And it happened so fast, man, that I was like, we just scored. I don't even know how it happened.
I just heard the post right away.
Yeah, you heard the post right away. I'm like, did he shoot it, or did he? I was wondering if he lost control of the puck and it just happened to hit the side there. But no, it was a goal. I think let's post that on the Tomahawk page.
Well, look at this, dude. He started the whole play. He fired it in, was blocked. I think it went back to, I want to say, Kurashev, dumps it in, catches the pass at the same time, rolls the puck on his blade, and does the Michigan, or what Voster says, the lacrosse goal.
The lacrosse move.
Oh. But unbelievable, man. And I don't know if you watched the intermission. He tried that a year ago today in the World Juniors against Finland. Same exact spot on the ice, but the Finnish goalie played it perfect. He saw it happening, lifted up his chest, and kind of put his head in between the crossbar and the post. Didn't even get like a shot off it. Bennington, no, yeah. He left a lot of daylight for him, and Bedard.
Dude, you know what, man? There really wasn't that much room.
It's
because
like a split second.
He moved.
Yeah,
he moved side to side really well, but that top corner by his head was open. That whole area.
You give a sniper daylight, with you, that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, from even behind the net, I think that's pretty incredible. And and here's something else that I wanted to bring up to you, kind of as a surprise. There is a lot of talk about Bedard's play, and obviously he's putting up points, but some people are saying that he needs time down in Rockford to get his defensive side of his game ready for the NHL, which I completely disagree with.
Who said that?
Because I think Patrick Kane played for the first 7 seasons of his career and didn't play defense. So I completely disagree with this take. There's been a couple just out there in the Twitter, Facebook verse of what hockey fans are talking about. And a lot of people are like, look, this kid's ready. He's really, really good. I think now he's got 13 goals and 15 assists, maybe. He's practically playing at a point per game clip. I don't see why anybody would send him down. And I completely disagree with sending Reichel down too. He needs time to play. He needs time at the professional level. And I'll be honest with you, man. I use Alexis Lafreniere as an example because he was the number 1 draft pick. To be honest with you, he's been a third line banger since he came into the league, and this year he's putting up some points, which is typically that's the type of player that he is. So I think that we need to give Reichel some time. What do you think?
Yeah, he's got to stay up. Like you said, he was almost dominant last year with Rockford. It's not doing him any good. It'd be like sending Korchinski back to juniors. He was dominant there.
Heard that too.
He's done his time there. He's ready. It's just the team's not that good. I mean, we don't have the personnel to, he's not going to go out and be a plus 30 Bedard. To send him down is just insane. He's way too good. If anything, send McDavid down. His defense is terrible too. So, I mean, those are just bad takes.
Non-existent.
Those are bad takes. I mean, Patrice Bergeron, Sidney Crosby, Johnny Taves, those guys play the position the right way. Hopefully, Bedard will kind of slowly learn that too. Like his two-way game's just as important. But keep in mind, he's 18. It's going to take a while, and you gotta surround him with players that will make him succeed. Right now, he's just making these guys better. The guys around him, he's not really. It's pretty much it's his show out there as of today. I mean, look at today. That was unbelievable. The The Michigan attempt, an 18-year-old, I wouldn't even attempt that at my age. I'd be embarrassed. And he just made it look so easy. And I'm just happy it was against the Blues. You know, it's the rival, and I'm sure they're all like, oh, shoot, we're screwed for the next decade.
Right. Matt, do you think that, maybe people just don't understand that there is that the competition between the AHL and NHL, their difference is vast.
Yeah, it's a crazy, big world.
And I don't think that the average fan really understands how vast of a difference it is to be a solid point producer at the AHL and you come up to the NHL and you can't get a biscuit in the net.
Well, use Brandon Perry as an example. That guy is an AHL legend. You know, like even back in the day when we were younger, remember the Wendell Youngs and the Steve Maltes? Those guys were AHL beasts. They could not play in the NHL. I mean, they just weren't good enough. And then didn't we have a kid like a couple years ago, McNeil? I think he was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
He's been an AHL guy forever. You know, I don't even think he's playing anymore.
Has.
So it's light years apart in skill. And sending Bedard or even considering that is just insane. I mean, it's insulting. The guy is putting up. He's at 13 goals as an 18-year-old. He's way ahead of all these other guys. They keep showing him against the other team superstar. You know, like comparisons of 18. I think they showed him Nate McKinnon, right? Mm-hmm. He's way ahead of him in assists, points, and Nathan McKinnon is a top 5 player. So
he is. He's
on his way to becoming a superstar. It's just a matter of time.
He's a guy that I would consider that you would, if you remember how we talked about who do you build your team around with the Hughes brothers. Nathan McKinnon is one of those guys that you build your team around.
And Nate's got, he's got Rantanen to play with. He had Gabriel Landeskog, who is still a good player. Cale Makar, Bo Byram, all these guys. He had a good supporting cast. Bedard is doing it by himself. He's got Nick Foligno. Nothing against Nick Foligno, but right now he's on the back 9 of his career. He's a grinder. Gotta love him, but he's not a Mikko Rantanen,
No, he's not.
That's more impressive to me that Connor is doing this as an 18-year-old virtually by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that this is really Reichel's time to shine, man. I think if he can just find his shot, Bedard's going to find him, because Bedard, if you've noticed, if he has an opportunity to shoot, he'll shoot, but defenses are just swarming to him, and he is getting the puck through traffic to open guys, and open guys need to be ready. I've seen, it was a few games ago, Reichel, I don't know how Bedard got him the puck, but he did. Reichel wasn't expecting it and then shot it, but the goalie had time to recover. And another time it happened with Kurashev. He wasn't expecting it either. A couple games later, I noticed that Bedard found Kurashev again, and Kurashev fired it right away and it hit the post. Should have been a goal. And the next time with Reichel, Reichel scored. So I think that these kids, the memo is out. Get ready for the puck at all times, because Bedard he's going to find a way to get it to you, and he is. I think that it's incredible how much of a sniper and a playmaker that he is.
Yeah, I think he needs maybe 2 pass first players on his line in the future. Guys that'll think pass first, because this kid needs to shoot. His shot is just absolutely elite. And I think he's going to be our next 50-goal guy eventually. Yeah.
He might get 50 goals and 80 assists one year.
I could see him getting 15-50, maybe in his rookie contract. Just if next year he's going to take a jump. I think every year he's going to take a jump. That's just how incredible he is. But if he can get that Patrick Kane-like pass-first guy, watch out.
Man. He's got Hawks defeated the Avs 3-2. Bedard had 2 assists in that game. Zaitsev had 2 assists in that game too. Donato and Johnson and Reichel all with goals, which is good, man. I mean, I like seeing these guys scoring. You know, like I mentioned Reichel earlier. Tyler Johnson, he's such a scrappy guy, you know, and even Donato, you know, Donato at the beginning, he was playing on that top line with Bedard. They moved him down, and now he's, you know, he's shooting. It seems like him and Dickenson are kind of going back and forth with these 1 goal, 2 goal games. You know, how are you feeling about Donato this season?
Yeah, I like Donato. I believe he scored in the first game of the season, and I thought he'd be playing with Bedard more, but I guess Richardson didn't like him with Bedard and wanted to spread out some depth maybe. But yeah, he's been good lately. He scored last night against the Canadians, and he was mic'd up, and Bedard gave him a beautiful pass, and he didn't waste any time. And yeah, I think if he surrounded with, you put him with better players, I think you're going to get more out of him. But like I said, I think Richardson wants to spread the wealth out, I guess you could say, and kind of balance the team out a little bit better.
Sure. Bedard is at 12 goals and 17 assists on the season, 29 points.
Yep, he's running away with the Rookie of the Year. It's his to lose now.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, man. I can't believe we've already played 32 games.
Yeah, we're sitting at the bottom, but, you know, we are competing. We've been blown out maybe 2 games, I want to say, where it was like, yikes, like 8-1 losses. But for the most part, I think Mrazek and Soderblom have been okay. Mrazek's definitely the better goalie. He's got, obviously, more experience and stuff like that. But I think he's a bright spot for this team. And if anything, like I've said before, teams should be really scouting this guy at the deadline. Teams that are going for it, like this guy is an unbelievable goalie, dude. He stands on his head a lot.
Do you think that that people are going to be targeting maybe Johnson, Dickenson, Donato, Mrazek?
Dickenson, I think, you know, he's at a career high. He scored a goal tonight against the St. Louis Blues in the second period. We're currently up 4-2, I believe. Yeah, I think there's going to be some scouts, you know, watching him. I thought he was a steal last year, steal of a trade. I think Vancouver had him, and I'm not sure what pick we traded for him, but I'm very happy with him. I honestly would love to see him come back. I'd like to see more out of him, and I'd like to see him playing, obviously, with better players. But still, 12 goals. He had a hat trick a couple weeks ago. But if I'm a team, you know, looking to fill in some depth, some, you know, guys that could score, yeah, absolutely, I would be all over Jason Dickinson.
Hawks lost to it was painful. They lost to the Habs. I thought that they were going to win that game. Apparently that wasn't the case. How'd you feel about that game, man?
Yeah, I am not a Habs fan at all. We looked good the first 2 periods, and then they just kind of ran away with the game, and, you know, you got to just, I guess, hit reset and forget about it. I thought when Donato scored that goal with Bedard's beautiful pass, I'm like, ooh, it's going to be one of those nights. Bedard's throwing firing that puck to his teammates, and that was it for him. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of that team at all. I do like Marty St. Louis. I know Cole Caulfield's having a kind of a down year. Suzuki, another, you know, down season, not as high as previous years and stuff like that. But I just looked at the standings, man. They're in the hunt still, so kind of surprised about that.
So is there anybody that you think that we could actually, you know, probably get something meaningful for?
I don't know if we're going to get like first round picks for any of these guys unless there's a bidding war going on for Mrazek. I could see like a desperate team, you know, like the Leafs or Carolina. I know he's got some roots with Carolina, and, you know, they sent Antti Raanta down. He's playing in Chicago with the Wolves now. They're not happy with his performance, but you know, teams like that are, say a goalie gets hurt, he's a guy you definitely want to have on your team. But if I'm Toronto, man, I'm really watching this guy very carefully.
What about Edmonton?
Well, they're a 500 team, and it's impressive. They've, kind of crawled out from hell. They were at the bottom, and every day I look at the NHL stat leaders, and Connor last week was like top 10. Now he's top 4, which is incredible. And I still am going to say it. I think he's going to lead the league in points at the end of the season.
And do you think that Edmonton makes the playoffs?
I think that they are going to sneak in the last wild card spot. I do.
Now, what if they don't? What if Connor? Let's just say what if? What if Connor, wins the Art Ross, and they don't get in? What, they should be sounding the alarms there. To be honest with you, because they're wasting this guy's prime.
It's the same. Every talk you hear with Connor, it's like these are prime years, and they're just throwing it out the window. You're going to need to, get a new GM probably with a new vision, but you can't do much if you're a new GM. I mean, you're kind of cap tied unless you can get rid of Nurse's contract or, I don't know what you do, man. It's really hard. I mean, this is one of the best players of all time probably. And you're going to piss him off, and eventually he's going to say, you know what, I got to win. I'm like the closest guy probably to Wayne Gretzky. So I need my name on that cup. So I don't know what you do. If anything, I would try to lock up Draisaitl first, just in case you can't get Connor, at this point.
Yeah. Here's something else to think about. When you look at Ovechkin, he was able to win with Washington. And at one time, Washington, they were dog shit. Same thing with the Pens. Sidney Crosby was able to win with the Pens, and they were really, really bad at one time. Jonathan Toews was able to win with the Blackhawks, who was really, really, really bad. Same thing with Kaner. McDavid, do you think that it's the same if he goes somewhere else and wins and he doesn't win in Edmonton? I think that it is.
Wait, what are you asking me?
I'm asking you that. Do you think that say he leaves and he goes to Florida and they win a cup, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that's great. You had to go to another spot to win a cup.
LeBron conversation.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it in Edmonton.
You couldn't do it with the captain of your ship. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like LeBron kind of, like he was flopping around trying to get a championship and stuff like that.
Well, he left Cleveland and he went to Miami, and I think he won a championship the very next season, or the season
and
after.
He couldn't do it with his team, like his first team. That's a
credit to him. He came back later and he won a championship with the Cavs.
You can't take away that Connor. This guy is, he's doing a lot. He is. But man, I could see that happening. I could see him going to another team and winning in the next couple seasons of his new contract. Yep, I can absolutely see it. And the Oilers fans will be bitter, but I mean, what do you want this guy to do? He's doing everything. I'm sure if he could stop pucks in net, he would do it too.
Do you think that tarnishes his legacy at all?
No, I don't think so. I think he's so.
I would think that it did.
You got to put good players around him. I know he's got the second best player in the world right now, but look at the depth.
Nathan McKinnon's another one, dude. Colorado was dog shit when they got him.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely horrible.
But Joe Sakic did his job.
He was able to win.
But Joe Sakic did his job, put in a good supporting cast for him. He had Nico Rantanen. He got he got lucky with Darcy Kemper in that. I mean, the year before was Philip Grubauer, and they let him. He ended up walking, so they get Darcy Kemper, and they just had really good depth and really good players, and they won their first cup. They earned that, but Bedard, or I'm sorry, not Bedard.
They were able to do it though. They came from the depths, and they took their what was once a terrible team, and they won a Stanley Cup, and Connor McDavid has not been able to do that, man. Even with, and every single guy that I just mentioned, every single guy, none of them had what is considered the number 2 or number 3 best player in the world as well.
That's true, but it matters in net too. Those guys had some solid netminders on those Stanley Cup teams. And Edmonton's had a lot of trouble with goalies. I think the last Edmonton goalie that's done anything was in 2006, Dwayne Rolison. This guy was a trade deadline guy. I think he was traded from Minnesota. He took that net, the 8th place seeded team. They beat the Red Wings. I think they beat the Ducks. Then they play the Hurricanes, took them to a Game 7 and lost because Rolison got hurt. But he was their last best goalie. That's a long freaking time. That's almost 20 years. So
yeah,
Connor has never had an elite goalie. I give Kenny Holland credit. He tried with Campbell. Campbell's been bad. They had to send him down, and they've been trying to fill in guys like Mike Smith. Come on, man. He's 40 years old. They
may as well just bring him back.
You might as well, yeah. You're not going to win anything, and you got your net filled, but they got to do something. They got to draft a kid, hope he develops fast enough, or make a splash. Trade like a Nugent Hopkins, trade a Hyman, and get a guy in net. I mean, look, John Gibson with the Ducks, that team is not going anywhere. He's wasting prime years there himself. If you put him on a squad with, McDavid and Draisaitl, Nurse, all those guys, he might be the missing piece. They need a guy that can stop pucks and steal a game when Connor cannot score. And there's going to be games, and especially in the playoffs, someone's going to shut him down. They need their depth to score, and they need a goalie to stop pucks. That's what it comes down to for him, I think.
Incredible. So last week we went over Team USA and the Canadian team. We have come to the conclusion that the Americans are actually bringing out better hockey players than Canada. This week we're going to go over Russia and Sweden, and this is pretty fun, man.
Yeah.
So for a Russian team, I'm going to name the top. I'll go with the top 20 players.
Yeah.
So we've got Nikita Kucherov, number 1. They got the Breadman here at number 2, man, and I wouldn't put him that high. He's a freaking choker. Does not play well.
Stop here at 3, 4, and 5 because this is impressive as all hell. This
is
scary,
and I would
actually.
I think all 3 of these guys should be higher than the Breadman. Andrei Vasilevsky, Igor Shesterkin, and Eli Sorokin. Matt, we're talking about
goaltenders.
The gauntlet of freaking goalies here, man. Say you get a few in on Vasilevsky, or maybe he's got the flu and Shesterkin takes over net. That doesn't sound like fun.
No, I think you could just tell these guys, hey, you're out in the first period, you're out in the second period, and you're out in the third period just because you're all elite number 1 goalies. That's how, and they'd win. They'd be fine.
Yeah, they would. Number 6, we've got Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov. Ovechkin at number 7. I think he's pretty high to be all the way up there.
And his buddy,
he's been
right below him.
He's been terrible this year. Malikin, I think, has been playing pretty decent. Svechnikov at number 9. Sergachev at number 10. Pavel Buchnevich at number 11. As a matter of fact, dude, I think Buchnevich has been playing much better than Ovechkin has.
He's been a real gem for the Blues, for sure.
We've got Andrei Kuzmenko from the Canucks, Eli Samsonov from the Maple Leafs, Ivan Provorov from the Blue Jackets, Sergei Bobrovsky, another goalie from the Panthers. But with Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, Sorokin, I don't see how Bobrovsky breaks that.
No,
breaks in there.
No, I would give him a flight ticket just in case there's an injury, but he ain't suiting up.
Right. We've got Valery Nichushkin for the Avalanche at number 16. Tarasenko at number 17. You know what, man? You could say Tarasenko's been playing better than Ovechkin as well. Dmitry Orlov at 18.
This is where it drops big time.
Yeah, it does. Kuznetsov with the Capitals at 19. Varlamov at 20. Mikheyev at 21. Barbashev at 22. Alexander Barbanov from the Sharks at 23. Artem Zub at 24, Zadorov at 25, Peter Kochinkov.
There's a lot of offs. Yeah. A lot of offs on this team.
Yeah, that's it, man. There's no sense in going down any further.
So you got to just give their goaltending an A freaking plus. I mean, oh boy.
I see this team struggling to create offense, man. Other than having a line with the Breadman and Kaprizov, and you can have I would probably, looking at this team, probably have Malkin centering that line. You got Buchnevich, carrying a second line. After that, man, it's not looking good for Russia.
Now, I think their offense is not great, but you know what? The goaltending could make or break you here.
Defense isn't much better.
They're going to rely on those three goalies. Who do you start? Shesterkin?
I would start Vasilevsky.
I think I would too.
Well. Okay, so this is going on in 2 years. If it was happening today, I would start Shesterkin. And then because Vasilevsky's still coming off of that injury, and I think that it might be lingering a little bit, so I would be starting Shesterkin. But if this is in 2 years, I would be, depending on how Vasilevsky's play is within these next 2 years, I would start him and have Shesterkin. You know what, man?
It's tough. I'd give them all starts.
There is a case for Shesterkin and Sorokin to back up Vasilevsky, because Shesterkin plays on a very good team that has they're very good offensively, and they're very good defensively as well. They're very responsible. Sorokin, on the other hand, is used to playing on a team that doesn't have much offense, and the defense on sometimes can't have much to be desired. So he's used to playing with a squad, which pretty much Russia is.
Yep.
Vasilevsky is used to playing with a very strong team. I don't know if Vasilevsky and Shesterkin mentally are prepared for not having a very good squad in front of them, where Sorokin is.
So
he's used to being that guy.
Team USA versus Russia, I'm putting Sorokin in net. Just because he's going to get peppered. Absolutely. I think you nailed it. He's kind of relied on himself. If he has a bad night, the Islanders lose.
Right.
If he has a good night, the Islanders could win 1-0. That's that team. He's really like Barzal and Bo Horvat are like the only offensive threats, and they don't show up every night. They need him to be amazing.
Yeah. So that's pretty much where I'm at with Russia. Let's check out Sweden. Hold on, let me pull up this link here. All right. I'll start from. Let me know where it starts dropping off. All right, I'll go through this. I can't believe Nicholas Backstrom's still on here. At number one, Elias Peterson at number one. He's been phenomenal for the Canucks this year, man. Phenomenal. Victor Hedman. I think that this is going to be. We're getting into like kind of the tail end of his career. I think that he's still elite, but look for production to start dropping off for Hedman. He's played a lot of games, man. A lot of hard games. I mean, heck, at the beginning of his career, he's playing against the Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup Finals. So he's had some tough games, but incredible defenseman. Erik Karlsson. They've got him here at number 3. I think Dahlin has been playing better than Karlsson has this year, even though that Karlsson, for the first time in his career, I think he's a plus. Linus Ullmark at number 5, really strong goalie, man. Really strong goalie. I like him. Philippe Forsberg for the Predators at number 6. We've got Jesper Bratt at number 7. And hold on. What the heck isn't this thing scrolling? Of course, this thing starts messing up for me now.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, did it?
That's weird.
It must be the
Mika Zibanejad is number 8.
Okay, hold on. I got Jesper Bratt, number 7, Mika Zibanejad at number 8, Elias Lindholm at number 9, Landeskog if he can stay healthy. So we'll put him, we're just going to scratch him because he'll probably be hurt. Adrian Kempe at number 11, Hampus Lindholm, 12, Jonas Broden at 13, Rasmus Anderson at 14. Yeah, William Karlsson's, I think he's a pretty solid center, though, man.
Yeah, I like him.
But yeah, this is dropping out. Jacob Markstrom for the Flames. He's a good goalie. Joel Eriksson Ek, Matthias Ekholm at 18. Yeah. Then we go to Gustav Forsling at 19. Yeah. Robin Leonard. I don't know if he's going to bring his gang of snakes with him, his snake farm with him to come and play. Put it into the visitors' locker room. Adam Larson, 21, Philippe Gustafsson at 22, Lucas Raymond at 23. They've got Backstrom listed here at 24.
Done. He's retired.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, man. Victor Arvidsson at 26, Ekman Larson at 25. Yeah, Eric Gustafsson at 29. So I can't believe they got Gustav Nyquist below Gustafsson. I'd have him higher.
Anyways,
I
don't know. This is just an NHL ranking system, the video game.
Sure,
but yeah, then again, they did forget Georgiev, another goalie for Team Russia. They put him on Team USA, so
yeah,
something must have happened. And he's a
good goalie.
I think Team Russia if you are going into this year's draft in the NHL and you're looking for a goalie, you look at Russia because they are producing some very, very good goalies.
These guys are growing on trees over
amazing.
There. Man, this seems like one of those typical Sweden teams that's very strong on the back end, has some stability down the center with their centers, and the defense is pretty sound. But I don't think that they could withstand a peppering from a really strong offensive team. What do you think?
No, I probably have them. Yeah, Sweden. It's hard for me to rank these guys. I don't see them even competing for a medal with that roster.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't even see Russia competing unless their goalies stand on their head, and it's possible, but I think the teams to beat are USA, Canada, and I hope we get that gold medal game. As a hockey fan, that's what I want to see.
Against Canada?
Yes, and I give the edge to USA. I think they're loaded with talent. Every department, goaltending, A, forwards, A, defense, probably a B+, close to an A-. That's how good they are. I can't say that about Sweden or Russia. I give Russia, goaltenders A+, and then what? Panarin is their best offensive player? I don't think so. Team Canada's goalies, I give a D. I think they're in big trouble unless somebody comes out next year and just runs away with, say, Carter Hart. He's still young, but I just don't see them matching up, man.
Yeah, I don't either, man. I don't. Man, this was fun. Who we're going to do next week?
Well, we got Finland, and I believe we got to do the Czechs. Slovaks and Czechs, I believe.
Wow. So, yeah. Well, first of all, something I didn't say earlier. Merry Christmas to everyone, all of our listeners. I meant to put that at the beginning. Merry Christmas. This is a Christmas released podcast. Hope everybody has a great holiday. Matt, Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas to you too, and everybody listening.
We had a Merry Christmas. We pretty much celebrated our Christmas June 28th when we drafted Bedard. So
we got a little gift tonight with a Michigan goal from Bedard too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, he left it in our stockings. So, all right, everybody, that's all that we got for you tonight. We're gonna do Finland on the next one and Czechs.
Yeah,
Slovaks and we'll catch you on the next one. Slovaks.
Yeah, because I think we'll do they might merge. I think they might have to. I don't think there's enough talent.
Oh my gosh. All right, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one. This is the Tomahawk, and we're out of here.